We will get started today, everybody, on just kind of doing a reintroduction for some of you that are brand new to Dr. Heidi and myself. Somebody said you should follow their podcast or you should come over there and watch them on their social. And you might be going like, well, who are these two? Come on. So, Dr. Heidi, I'm going to let you take it away and just give yourself a little intro.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm Dr. Heidi Ratzable, and I'm an ND, so a naturopath. I'm also certified in functional medicine. I've been in practice over 24 years, forever. Excuse me. I come into health and wellness from an athletic background, being in sports, going to athletic scholarship to university, and racing bikes in Europe with the world champion Gina Longo for years. And it was really my time in Europe that opened my eyes to different modalities, to more natural healings, to really functional medicine, diet and lifestyle, supplementation, key nutrients at key times, and really making that work. And that made such an impression on me. And in my life, I thought when I retire from sports, that this is what I want to do to help people, women, have a better life, have better vitality, better health, because it's not as complicated as you think. Key nutrients, key factors, key movement makes a huge difference.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Heidi. It is just such a pleasure to have you. And you're always have so much knowledge and plethora of information that really we can all use. That's really applicable for all of our day-to-day life, right? And you guys, if you're new to myself, my name is Kellie Lupsha. I've been in health and wellness for 28 years. It's been wild. Love helping and serving people. I historically have practiced as a physical therapist. And really over these past several years now, I have just like Heidi, moved my focus to really helping this aging woman because we've gotten overlooked, underdiagnosed, pushed aside. Oh, you just should feel like crap. Oh, you're just aging. And it's really not the case. And after I saw friends and family and even myself struggling, once we hit these early 40s of like, is this really what it's going to be like? I'm like, Truly, I think this combination of the world, toxins, chemicals, pollutants, stressors, and the thought that now we're supposed to do it all, be it all, have it all, help everybody is like, wait, no one is actually has those superpowers. Let's like back up and enjoy and love and give from a very different place. And we need to first take wellness of us, because if we're on our A game, then we can do for others. We can't do for others first and put ourselves last. We need to do for us. And then we have more to give to serve the world ultimately.
Absolutely. I love that, Kellie. It's just like in the airplane. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first and then on your child. It doesn't seem the natural instinct, which is why they have to tell you every single flight. Make sure you put it on yourself first and then your child, because our instinct is always to help others, especially women. We're always at service, always helping. I love that, Kellie. And y'all, if you don't follow me, follow Miss Kellie. She is a wonderful guide, a wonderful coach, and just a wonderful human being. So love working with you.
Me too. It's just a love fest, you guys. But honestly, this really brings us right into our topic of where are you with your New Year's resolutions? Because the resolutions typically are things for your personal, mental, physical wellness, right? And somehow our resolutions are the first to go away because we start, well, the kids needed me here. Well, I had to stay late with work. And we tend to make excuses, you guys. I mean, it's a big bummer, but it starts happening.
Yeah. And then getting out of that excuse gets harder and more difficult as we go along, not breaking that inertia. We have the power. Okay, I'm going to change this. And then excuse. Okay, I'm going to get back on it. Excuse. And then the excuses just become the dominant thing. So it's hard, but how do we do it?
How do we do it? And I'm going to ask you guys, when you are, taking on something new, do you give yourself grace? Meaning, are you an all or none person, right? A 0 to 100, black or white? Because life is being able to live in the gray zone.
Yeah.
And knowing like, oh, you know what? It's not that you cheated, is you just made the best decision at the time. It's not that you threw away your sleep routine, it's because you and your husband had a great time together staying up late watching a movie, and you chose to do that for that time. But you don't stay up late every night. And so it's like, okay, versus, I didn't do it, I didn't do it. Then it ultimately leads to poor self-esteem, poor self-worth. Oh, I can't do anything. Of why did I even try? What was I thinking? Of course I can't lose weight. Of course I can't do this. And it's this cycle. And then when do you start again?
Yeah. You don't wait till the end of the year and like, okay, January 1st, I'm going to do it again. Yeah.
So how do we build this toughness, Heidi, of, I talk about so much these small habits, building routines that ultimately turn into just wellness rituals. And you and I were talking because even for people that are on the wellness path, we get really stuck and ingrained and don't make these small changes to create really healthy adaptations.
Yeah. It's such a great, poignant question, Kelly, on how do we do that? And we all get stuck in our own routines, either a complete lack of one, or for some of us health minded, it's like, no, I have to do this. I have to do it this way. And I have to go to this yoga class and just do, and we get almost too regimented. But like you say, it's in the gray zone is where the dance is, where the joy is found. And making changes have to be, I believe, and you can tell me what you think, Kelly, small adjustments, not complete changes, but adjustments to a change. Let's have the dial go click, click. So the safe will open when we hear it go click, right? But it has to be small incremental clicks and changes or adjustments for the big change, for the big payout.
Yeah, no, I mean, otherwise, we don't like that big change.
Yeah.
Nobody does. Your brain doesn't. You don't. So we get nervous about it or we have preconceived notions about it. But if it's this small change, like just experiment. Let me just be open to seeing, maybe in the morning you've been drinking a little bit of water, but you're like, if I actually fill my cup more, let me see if before my coffee I can drink a little more water and put off that coffee for another 20 minutes. I was just sharing with you, right? I think many of you know that I have recently moved. And so I have joined a new yoga studio. And even that, as somebody who has been into physical fitness, I can't say like I'm a total yogi, okay? Because I'm not that person, but I really enjoy it. But every teacher's different. Every studio is different. Sometimes what they call things are different. So just last night, I was at a class and they're using some terms that I hadn't heard before. So I'm like watching everybody else and I'm just a little behind because I'm not exactly sure. The guy knew I was new. So he was kind of purposely, he would speak like, by taking your left arm. And like, I think he was extra explaining for me. But I'm like, "Oh my gosh," it was uncomfortable, but that new learning is so powerful for the brain and our nervous system to not be so regimented, um, throughout life. Because I watch my parents and grandparents, and I see them only get more regimen, more less apt to change, more challenging and difficult, right? And I'm like, "Ooh, that's not actually very healthy for us in the long term."
Right. It's just like you say, people don't think about it from a brain point of view, but it's really remarkable how those little changes and that adjustment causes our nervous system and our brain to go, hey, whoa, what is this? What is this? And we have to allow that grace to acclimate, to figure it out. But then it becomes a stronger brain, a more responsive nervous system, appropriate nervous system response. We all have a first time, don't we? First time to do
Absolutely.
that yoga, or first time to even run or try that exercise. There's always a first time, and everybody else in that room had a first time. So they get you.
Yeah.
Nobody's judging you. We're so hard on ourselves. I don't know where that comes from.
So hard on ourselves. And really, in the field of wellness, everyone, I want you to think that if I don't know, maybe there's an athlete that you love, or there's a movie star that you love that you're like, oh gosh, like I wish I was like them, right? So who are you being the I wish I was like them for? right? We call it, or I know in my courses with Brendan Bouchard, he always says, there's been people in your life that were the lighthouse. So who are you being the lighthouse for? So you want to be that lighthouse for, like, you know what? I tried something new. You can try something new. I did something different today. You can do something different today. I've never done this for 50 years, but you know what? I'm going to try, because that is like that's wellness, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's wellness. And everything's connected, right? Everything matters and everything's connected. So the little change in diet, I'm just not going to drink any more sodas. That little change. Allow your body to go for a while without it and see how you feel, right? Everyone expects to feel something right away. But that's not how life works. Our nervous system, our guts, our brains, they have to take a minute to our adrenals, HPA access, is this fight or flight? Should I be running from this? Is this a tiger, or is this a safe place? There's always that moment of figuring it out and allowing yourself to make little adjustments, little changes, to go to bigger changes allows that adjustment to be much more smooth, less chaotic, less anxiety producing,
Mm-hmm.
but
And
so beneficial.
so beneficial. And I think, Heidi, I mean, we were talking a little bit before about, people get very concrete in what they want to do, meaning I'm going to have no more sugar. I'm going to have no more this. And sometimes it's like, well, let me have less of that. Or if you're going to take something away, I mean, even if we took the example of soda, which I mean, I'm just amazed at every single restaurant, airport, convenience store, everywhere you go, the only options to drink is usually water, tea or coffee, and soda. And I just think, oh my goodness, how did we go so wrong in all of it? And then, of course, all the sugary energy drinks now and things like that at convenience stores. But my point is if you're going to take something away, do something in replacement. So you're not taking it away, eliminating. Because I think when we stop completely or eliminate completely, then we feel like, oh, I want it. And you can't have it. And that goes this, again, we start playing mental games with ourselves of, could you give yourself a better option?
Yeah, that's a great point. The health, anything starts in how do we frame it? How do we frame it in our mind? What are we telling ourselves? Is it, I'm being deprived? It's a horrible thing. It's awful that I'm doing this. I won't be happy. Is that the conversation? Because that does not lead to success. But in our mind, if we're saying, you know what, I have enough compelling reason and knowledge now to say, I want to start minimizing my sugar because it's the best choice for me. And if we frame it like that, and we keep framing it, because we're going to have to keep reframing it. The minute we see a commercial on TV, the minute we see our friends eating whatever they want, it all comes rushing back. But if we say, but the better choice for me is to minimize my exposure to sugar. That reframing that choice. Health is in the mind. Success, it's how we frame the narrative in our heart and in our mind, right?
So another gentleman that I listen to sometimes is Ed Milet. Right now, Ed Milet is, like, I think the number one, high performance coach in this personal development space that's out there. He just wrote a book called The Power of One More. And I love that. But of course, anybody can take it to the nth degree, meaning if you're going for a walk, well, just go walk one more step, right? If you're going to be drinking your water, drink one more glass, 1 more ounce. If you're going to, have a meditation practice and you started it for 2 minutes, do 1 more. Because most people don't do the 1 more. Now it can get to the excess, right? Oh yeah, well, I could do 1 more. And that's where we have to be careful.
Yeah.
When we're roughing, pushing ourselves so much. But when we're talking about small habits and making micro changes, micro adjustments. That's the one more, one tweak, one something. And if you can get in the habit of tweaking the one more for a little better, that's when I think you're going to finesse your wellness.
Yeah, absolutely. And the benefits will show up when you least expect it, because you stopped looking for it. You just focused on the process. Don't be married to the end result. Be married to the process. Who did we hear say that? You and I heard that together, I'm sure. But divorce the outcome and marry the process. That's what it was.
Yes. I think health is that way. Business is that way. You just do the action because you have this long-term desire. But that action isn't going to mean that tomorrow you're going to wake up and the scale is going to show you lost 3 pounds.
Yeah.
That you can't, that's the expectation that we've had. Many of us have had. And that's what you have to just get rid of or divorce that part of it, right? And just do the actions, do the correct behaviors, because long term, and whether that long term is a month, a year, 5 years, it's the desire for this wellness life that you want to live.
Yeah, exactly. It's step by step. You'll hear it over and over, a marathon isn't run by just going out and doing one workout. Got to get out there every day, slowly work up to that kind of mileage, and you'll just arrive. It just happens. That's the beauty of the little step, that just focus on the process. You will arrive.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
And what I would say to everybody, Heidi, and maybe kind of we'll go in this direction before we end, is this is easy for us, you and I, to have this conversation. And we run in circles of people that are into wellness.
Yeah.
But if you don't run in circles that people think the same way, believe the same way, have the same habits, it's really easy when you try to do the change of habits, but nobody else is. And so you're like, oh, I just won't. So having a group of people that is your wellness community, you might need several of them. You might have your wellness community you do yoga with. You might have a wellness community of maybe a community of membership of women that you hang out together that all are like asking questions and, oh, I did this and this helped me, and supporting each other from wellness to lift us up, to be like rooting us on for wellness, not like waiting for us to fall, like, oh, she wants to lose weight. Ha ha. Wait,
Yeah, let's watch her do that.
Right? You may need to listen to more people and books and podcasts, but immerse yourself in wellness so it starts changing your thinking without even knowing it, because you hang around it more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who is influencing you in terms of just energetically? If you don't have to talk to every yogi in your yoga studio to receive the energy. It's that subtle energy that helps make the yoga or the workout or whatever endeavor you're doing, that community of people who are like-minded, who want to encourage each other to success. And that's super important, especially out there. We're bombarded with, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. And that's what comes to Kellie and I, are people who don't even know where to start.
They've got so much information that it's just, right?
Exactly. And they're like, but I tried this and I tried that. And they tried a little bit of nothing long, but it just became more frustrating, more confusing. And that's where community comes in. That's where good guidance comes in. But it's an important factor, is immersing yourself in a community that supports you and thinks like you.
Because sometimes we need to be accountable to ourselves, but when we're accountable to others, it's really helpful. So in those communities, that's kind of your little extra accountability beyond just you, is you can go, oh my God, you know what? I did my workout 5 times last week. Oh my gosh, you know what? I actually tried a brand new recipe that was pretty tasty, right? Like, it's fun to share the wins.
Yeah, absolutely. And we encourage you. I always tell my clients, like, I want to know that recipe you just did. We got the Blue Zone cookbook, and we've been trying all these recipes. And And they're just fabulous. And so I find myself telling the class, you got to get this book. They have a ceviche in it to die for. I want to just sit and go and eat the ceviche, it's so good. So it's fun. Well, I have tons of cookbooks. We have tons of great recipes, but this new book came into our lives. It was a gift from somebody. And it's just been like an adventure. Okay, what are we going to cook out of it this time? And so do those things that are not typical or out of your comfort zone. That was just an example that came to mind as you were talking about it. These things come along. Don't hesitate. Jump in.
Don't hesitate.
And talk about it, because you'll find people attracted to that same thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you guys, Dr. Heidi and I always want you to be the healthiest version of you. And we hope you keep that kind of top of mind in the morning when you're doing your kind of, whether it's meditation or journaling or mindset, you got to be telling yourself, right? I'm becoming, because we're all becoming. We're not there today. We don't expect to be there tomorrow, but this is a process of becoming the, healthiest or best version of ourselves. And we know you can too. So we welcome you into the wellness world.
Yep. Welcome. Come join us.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of that, actually, Heidi, I really wanted to share is some people really are like, I don't know where to start, or I've been doing routines. I fell off and oh my goodness. So if any of you guys want to spend a little bit more time with Dr. Heidi and I, we're going to be putting on some 1-day mini retreats with us. We're going to be hosting one in Orange County, California, and one in Dallas, Texas in the month of March. The exact details are to be determined. So I'm going to kind of leave that open until it's exactly finalized. But we want to help you guys have a plan and understand the why behind some things and give you some basics teaching so that you can go live a more fulfilling, well life of thriving, honestly, because it's easier than you think if we can simplify the knowledge and not have all of this running around. So it's going to be hands-on, it's going to be action, it's going to be fun, it's going to be packed. So if you want to spend the day with us and you either live in or near or just want to fly out and visit Orange County, California or Dallas, Texas, it's going to be March. So reach out to either one of us and let us know you're interested in the retreat. We'll get you all the details when it's coming. If you're watching this on social, then definitely message us, information about retreat. We will get that to you because we're going to have tons and tons of fun. And our goal is to really raise the level of everybody's wellness.
Absolutely. And we just want a community too. So join us.
Join us. Oh, so good stuff. Well, you guys, until next week, thank you so much for following us. Thank you for subscribing. If you're listening to this on a podcast, definitely share this with somebody who you're like, I think you'd like these girls. I think you are into like fitness and wellness, and take a listen. We really appreciate it because our message can get out there to more people in the world that are really looking for a community and a place to be well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you guys.
Be well.
Hope to see many of you guys in the retreat. Be well, and we will see you next week.
Take care. Bye-bye.